All right. Okay, here we go. Okay, but for now, I want to show you what you kind of said in the questions for that I asked you to respond to earlier. And thank you, all of you who responded. I asked you a few questions about your time zone, etc. Okay, so here's what you said. Here's a little bit about what you said. Most of you are in the same time zone as everyone else in California. A few of you are working through the challenges of being on the East Coast, and one of you just said other out there. I asked you Wi-Fi or broadband. Everybody said Wi-Fi, and 0% of you responded to the choice, my Wi-Fi is amazing. So we hope we can make the Wi-Fi work. Let me know if you have issues with that. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're gonna try anyway here to start using some of the tools on Canvas that a number of you said, oh, I don't think I've ever used that tool, or I don't do it very much. So here we are in small group, and what a challenge to do small group online. So we're going to have to use some of the technology in Canvas that a lot of people just haven't had very much experience with. This would be things like Calendar. Only 13% of you said I use Calendar. Collaborations and conferences. So next week we're going to work on how to use those in Canvas and do a little bit of training on that. So just a heads up on what you said. Okay, so let's test our technology. Looks like all of you are in chat. So here we go. Let's start with some easy questions. Get ready in chat. I'm going to ask you to choose one of these two choices. Here we go. Paul, this one's for you. Okay, 4 questions. First of all, Xbox or PS4, and you can't say neither. All right, go. Haley, switch, come on. Nazreen's going to use the S box, which is the new technology. Paul, is that boo for Nazreen or for myself? Or other?
For all those Xbox people.
Oh, for all the Xbox people. Okay. Well, let's still be friends after this. Okay, here we go. Number 2, there's 4 questions. Forced choice. Probably the next one you'll want to say neither, but all right, you have to do one or the other. What's it going to be? Here we go. You are going to be, I'm trying to advance these slides with my keyboard. That doesn't work. Stung by 1 bee or stung by 10 red ants. So you're going to type bee or ants, and you can't say I don't want to be stung. All right, here we go. Bees are winning. Kelly, you can't say all. You can't say I want to be stung by everything. Okay, Rose is choosing 1 bee. Tomorrow's doing ants in all caps, so this is a very firm choice from him.
Definitely.
All right, some of you are like, I'm not going to answer that question. Okay, here we go. Question number 3. Here's your forced choice. If you're not in chat yet or you haven't found it, just keep clicking around. It's going to be at that button on the bottom where you can start your screen or mute yourself, etc. So that's where you're going to find chat. Here's number 3. Again, I will learn I cannot use my keyboard to advance slides. All right, sneeze for an hour or have hiccups for an hour. So there's the whole hour you're going to be dealing with this. So you're going to sneeze the whole time or hiccup. All right, let's see where we're going. Okay, now this is a more widely varied responses here. Angel, I don't think we've heard from you. Oh, there you are. You're going to hiccup. Okay. That's good. All right, here's the last one. On a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being not very good and 5 being amazing, how's your online learning been so far? Let's keep 0 out of it, even if you're super tempted. Okay, those are pretty okay. Middle, high, middles. Okay. Middle of the road. Fractions by Mario. All right. Oh, well, we're pretty much all of us kind of learning how to do online learning, so we'll have to help each other do it better. So I really do appreciate your feedback, any feedback that you have for this course, and let's get it so we can make it as least painful as possible. All right, so that's our chat button. We'll be using it a bit in this class, so good job. All right, let's go to our next task. Now we're going to see if your audio works, your video, if you choose to show us your face here. Here's the question. What's the best advice you've heard? You don't have to have followed this advice. What's the best advice you've heard for surviving the challenges of social distancing and sheltering in place? And now I'm going to pick on you guys. All right. So some of you I know and some of you I don't know. So we're going to start alphabetically. Sorry, all you A people. Adriana, am I saying your name right?
Yes.
Adriana? Okay, Adriana, isn't it's like a curse and a blessing to have your first name start with A, because then you get to start things sooner, even when you don't want to?
But then you get to have it over earlier.
That's true. That's a good attitude. All right, Adriana, what advice do you have for us about that you've heard for how we are all going to survive this and be better people at the end?
The main thing that I've heard mostly is to stay productive. A lot of people that I know will actually do like hair and makeup and just stay at home. That way you're actually still doing your routine, still getting ready. You're just not going outside and out and about for most people.
Okay. Good advice, Adriana. Hair and makeup, keep it going. All right. Angel, it's your turn. Just wow us with your wisdom.
Oh, I have so much of it, don't I? At least something I'm trying to do is really stick to a routine. And like, I've heard this from other people too. It really helps to wake up on time and do your classes like at the time they're supposed to be, and like have a set time to eat, and like try to normalize things as much as possible, even though you're not going outside.
Yes, good advice. I know I've had to struggle with staying on a schedule myself, so fabulous advice. Thank you, Angel. Margot.
Yes.
What advice? See, you should be impressed. I remembered your name here from our previous session this morning. Okay,
Thanks.
Margot, give us your advice.
I mean, to be honest, like my whole family works in healthcare, so I just don't want to like make anyone mad. So I didn't really hear any advice. I just don't want to like stir the pot in my house.
Okay, the advice is to keep peace.
Yes.
This is fabulous advice. Well, I applaud your family who has is just doing heroic work. So
Thanks.
thank you. All right. Thank you, Margot. Mario, you have some good advice for us that you've heard. You don't have to follow this advice, but all right, what do you give to us?
Yes, to stay doing a normal routine and really just staying away from everybody, even if some of your family members. Just or distance. That's all.
Yeah. It's hard stuff, isn't it? Let's not pretend like it's not. This is a super challenging time. So yeah, hang in there, you guys. All right. So we have to do our part as much as we can here to keep social distance. It's tough. All right. Thanks, Mario. Hey, Dylan, I see you're on there, so you can't escape. What advice do you have?
Like everybody said, stick to the routine, but be early work out, but just kind of let someone just kind of. So, yeah.
Dylan, I didn't quite hear you very well. I don't know how your audio's working. Can you try that one more time?
Can we hear you now?
That sounds better to me.
Okay. Just like everybody said, do a routine. Be up early. Like I'm trying to be up before sunrise still, and just work out and do stuff and um, get the blood flowing to kind of keep my brain functioning the way it's supposed to.
All right. I think it's good for the soul to see the sunrise every once in a while.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So keep it up, Dylan. Okay, thanks, Dylan. Esther, you're muted right now, but you're going to unmute and just tell us, just wow us with your wisdom.
It's true, I was mute. Can I just tell you, I cannot find this chat bar for the life of me, and it's really stressing me out.
Okay, somebody who's found it, give Esther the quick instructions.
I did a team thing yesterday, and I could find it fine, but I don't know why today I'm feeling
That
confused.
happened to me earlier in my micro class. I honestly just had to exit the video chat and just rejoin, and it did appear. Try that, because at first I couldn't find it either, and like I had previously been able to.
Okay, I'll answer the question, and then I'll flee, and then I'll come back. Best advice I've heard. I think what everyone else was saying, routine. Also, I just call as many of my friends as I can, and just pretend like I'm at school, you know? Except I'm not.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, Esther, the fact that you can't find your chat bar probably explains why we didn't hear from you for any of those questions. So, just on a scale of 1 to 5, how's your online experience been so far?
I think it's been a solid 4, and the missing point is because technology is confusing.
Amen. Just like what's happening now.
Yes.
Okay, Esther, pop out, pop back in, and see if we can get you in the chat, because we're going to use it a little bit later.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Esther. Okay, Haley, I saw you this morning as well. So you've had a lot of time to think about good advice. What would you give us?
I don't know. I mean, I've been just like doing a lot of like small little activities. Like I've been trying to get some form of physical activity at some point throughout the day, because we've all just been stuck inside. So if that's either going for a walk or like doing some yoga or something. And then I've also been like cooking a lot, because there's not really a whole lot to do when you're inside. So I'll just make things. That's all
like
I have.
What? Like one thing you've made?
I just made some ramen for lunch, and I got really involved. That's the thing, is I'm trying to do things that take a really long time. I've made like pies and cakes and bread.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know. Now's a good time to try new things if you want to, folks.
Amen. Amen. So, all right, keep up that ramen. Just make it amazing, Haley.
Yeah. Thank you.
Jayla, I'm glad that you joined us there. Okay,
now.
we're ready to hear from you.
Okay, so some advice that I've heard has been really good, at least for me, is like exercising in your room, just like so you're active, so you're not just like sitting in your bed all day. And I think also like FaceTiming your friends, and also like playing like online games with them is a lot of fun. And so, yeah.
Could you give us an example of an online game that you play that's good for groups that are social distancing?
Yeah, give an online game, Jayla.
Oh my God. Okay. I've been playing this game called like Stardew Valley with my friends, and it's like basically like essentially like a farming game kind of, and it's a lot of fun. So check it out if you want.
Check it out, you guys. All right. Hey, Jayla, would you pop over to the chat and type the name of that in? Thanks. Thanks, Jayla. Okay. Hey, Jessica, how are you doing?
Hello, I'm good.
All right. Sounds not like it matches the I'm good message, but I hope you are.
No, I'm good.
Yeah. All right. Give us your advice you've heard.
I've heard a lot of advice about going out and like going on hikes, but I'm in the Central Valley, so I mean, it's just almond fields out here, but I've been taking a lot of walks, either with my dogs or my parents or by myself, towards like the end of the day, where I try to be productive in the morning and then go outside, because, we need some air after being stuck in the house all day. So
Yeah.
that's pretty much it.
Well, good. I know it's probably more challenging for many of you to get outside than it is for us who are still on the PUC campus. We could just pop into the back 40. So continue to do self-care, everyone, including getting exercise when you can. So great advice. Thanks. Thanks, Jessica.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, Kelly, it's your turn.
Oh, I think right now, like, because we're stuck at home, there's nothing else to do. So like, and you don't really see your family members often, especially when those like who goes to school far away from home. So now's like a great time to spend like family time, watch movies with them, play games. So that's what I've been doing with my family.
What is a game you've played with your family?
We played Uno, and then Life, the board game Life, and then some other card games. I forgot the names.
Okay, that's Life is old school. Way to go! That's awesome. All right, Kelly. So some of you can get on Amazon and get some board games, maybe help spend the time. Thanks, Kelly. All right, Nazreen, your turn. I know how much you love just sharing details about what you've heard. So go ahead, get it over with.
I don't know if I heard anything, but I go on morning runs basically because I have to, because I'm in a PE class, but the sun shines nice. So I feel like if you have the opportunity to go outside or even in your backyard, it's nice to, do your work outside if you can. But yeah.
Oh, awesome. If your Wi-Fi extends that far, why not go outside and work?
Exactly.
Okay, good advice. Thanks, Nazreen. Good job. All right, Paul, what do you have for us?
I say just maintaining your self-control. Don't just stay inside and do one thing for hours. One thing I've been trying to do during this was relearning how to ride the bike. So yeah, I've been trying to do that, get better at that. Yeah, eating right still, because it's really easy to because you have nothing to do, to just snack all day. So I've been trying to avoid that.
That's good. Paul, are you talking about like a regular bike or a motorbike? What are you talking about?
Like a road bike.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. One of my friends last quarter was like, "Hey, let's go bike in the trails in the back 40," and I realized how bad I was. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I hope that's not too steep of a learning curve for you. I'm sure it's not. So good advice. Good advice. Thanks, Paul.
Yep.
Hey, we've got 4 more people to hear from. And Rachel, welcome. What do you have to share with us? Rachel, I think you're muted still.
Sorry, it wouldn't.
Okay.
So this is hard for me. I actually work at the hospital, so I haven't really been doing the shelter in place because work has been pretty demanding. But one big thing that I try to do, because I have isolated myself from a lot of my family and friends, is I've been doing workouts at home and just homework and reading, trying to stay busy. Pretty much that's all I can be active.
Well, Rachel, what do you do at the hospital? What's your role?
I'm a telemetry technician, so I work with the nurses and the doctors on telemetry and ICU floors, and I read heart rhythms and I interpret them for the doctors and nurses.
Well, thank you so much for being on the front lines, and I think you healthcare workers have special challenges, and we want to support you in any way that we can. So thank you. Thank you. Take care of yourself. Yeah.
I've been trying.
Thanks for keeping it up. Thanks, Rachel. Rebecca, let's unmute that thing and hear your words of wisdom.
Yeah, so I've been just trying to keep busy, trying to practice, I guess, new things. So I've been practicing learning how to braid, just small like activities. And especially since I'm with my sister and my brother, we're kind of just like doing it together since we never really spend time together. It's just like spending time with family.
That's awesome. Do you get along pretty well with your siblings then?
Yeah, sometimes. They're older. So yeah, we're trying to like reconnect because I've been gone for so long, and then there's just years that we're all separate. So it's a good time to just connect with family.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. Way to take advantage of it. Thanks, Rebecca.
Yeah.
Rosa, I've not had you in class before. Rosa, am I saying your name correctly?
Yes, you are.
Well, tell us a little bit about your wisdom.
So I've just been staying busy by just working on projects that I would never have time for when I'm in school. So I'm helping my dad build a fence for the property. I'm also gardening, so planting, just being more self-sustainable and just planting our own food because I'm just tired of being inside the house.
Amen. Okay, what are you planting?
We planted onions, garlic, lettuce, cabbage. We have tomato starters right now, and then we planted radishes as well.
Wow, I wish I were your neighbor. I could come over to the garden and enjoy.
We also have a lot of chickens, so you'd also get eggs from us.
Eggs? There are no eggs in the market up here, so
yeah. Our neighbors are stocked.
Oh, well, thanks for it. Like a community service. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. Thanks, Rosa. Samuel, you're another person that I've never had in class. Do you go by Sam or Samuel or what? How should you be addressed?
Sam's fine.
Sam, all right. Welcome to the class, Sam. You're the last one on the list. What do you have to give to offer to us?
I would say probably just get some new hobbies or trying to stay active.
Okay. New hobbies. It's a good time. All right. Thanks, Sam. Appreciate it. All right. I'm going to pop over to chat and see here how we're doing. Oh, Jayla put the name of the game. Thank you, Jayla. And Esther is in chat, so we're good to go. Okay, here's the test where you're really listening. Give one piece of advice in chat that was not your own that you just heard. On your mark, get set, go. Let me repeat the directions. Give one piece of advice you heard that was not your own. Thanks, Haley. Naz? Thank you, Angel. Good job. Sounds like you were listening to each other. Awesome. All right, well done, you guys. I think we can use chat now. I think we're all good. Stick to a routine, Dylan says. That came up over and over. Okay. Watch a sunrise. Good job. Okay, so we practiced with chat, we practiced with audio, and so what we'll do now is we'll kind of talk about what the class is about. Again, pop any questions that you have into chat. I'll try to every once in a while look over there and make sure I can address them. So what we're going to do now is, well, what's small group all about? What will I be doing? How's the class organized? All of that stuff. So you will be reading in your textbook. We'll have to rely on the textbook a lot more than maybe usual, given the nature of what we're doing here. So I'm trying to put on in our modules both the page numbers for the 9th and the 10th editions, in case you got the earlier edition. A number of you said in response to the questions that you don't have your textbook yet, and I'm sure there are challenges with getting the textbook. So you'll want to see if you can get the textbook. Haley, you have the 8th edition. The page numbers won't match, but there's not much difference in the topics, so you'll just kind of hunt up the topics. Just look in the index. For example, next week's about social loafing, so just look up social loafing. For the first couple of weeks, I've put some PDF files on so you can keep up with your reading. So you'll be able to click on the link and go to the reading. I talked to my VizCom class this morning about the fact that I can't probably do that the whole quarter due to some legal copyright issues. But right now, just to get you started for the first 3 weeks, I think I'm putting on the reading. So I hope that helps. Let me know if you have issues with your textbook. I'm happy to work with you on that. All right, so you'll be reading, and then you'll be listening to mini lectures I've recorded. I am recording some mini lectures to you. They range from about 4 to 12 minutes. I'd say they average 10 minutes. So you'll do your reading, you'll listen to the mini lectures, and when you're all done with that, you'll go on Canvas and you'll take a little quiz over the reading and the mini lectures. So these are all due before we meet every week on Wednesday at 2 o'clock. So just give yourself time enough to listen to the lectures. There's 2, maybe 3 at most, so it's going to take you between 10 and half an hour to look through those lectures, and then whatever time you need to take the quiz. So again, pop questions into chat if you have any as we go along. Come to these online sessions here like you are. Well done. And because it's a small group, I know this often shocks people, and I'm sorry if it shocks you, but because this is small group communication, you will be working in small groups. I usually have people who are like, what? But it is true. So we are going to manage that with this distance learning online. We're going to figure out how to do it. And so you will be working in small groups. I'm going to ask you next week, we're going to practice meeting with those small groups and using a couple pieces of technology to how you meet with the small groups. But here's what I need for you to do. In a moment, I'm going to talk to you about those small groups, and I'm going to need for you to email me immediately if there's any issues. Like an example would be, there's a person in this class, we used to date, it was a terrible breakup, I shouldn't be in a small group with this person. You need to tell me those things. Otherwise, I'm just going to ask Canvas to randomly put you in a group. And I know that's kind of scary, but the purpose of this class is to learn to work with people that are different from you and that you may not know that well. And so, you know, that's part of the learning process. There'll be some activities to do in class. For example, we're going to do some activities about who should be on the lifeboat type of thing as we use it to talk about decision making, etc. So there's that. So here's how it looks like. Here's what it looks like in Canvas. You want to go to modules, and I'm trying to organize them every week. Here's week 1. A number of you have kind of worked your way through this. So you have till next week, this time, 2 o'clock, to work your way through all of these things. And so that's what it looks like. Okay, we're ready for chat here. I'm going to ask you a question. On a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being not very good and 5 being very good, here's my question for you. How well can you read the information on this slide? 5 being perfectly clear, 1 being I have no idea what's on there. Okay, so thank you. So what you're telling me is that if I put information on the slide from a screen capture, that you can read it fine. So thank you for your responses. All right, there's a couple other things we'll be doing. You'll be completing a small group project, and I'm going to talk to you about that because we do have some challenges with a small group project, but we're going to try to overcome them. And you'll be presenting the project. Again, how are we going to do that online? We're going to figure that out. And there's 1 test. So that's what we're up against. I'm just laughing at Mario, who's speaking in Spanish, but thankfully I have enough knowledge I can interpret that. Thanks, Mario. I wonder if you have some concerns about what the small group project's going to be and who you're going to be working with, and those are really legitimate concerns. Angel, you said you didn't hear my question. I'm not sure what my question was. I was talking. Oh, why people are saying 5. How well could people read the information on the screen? Okay, sorry about your Wi-Fi. Okay, all right. Here's what the project's about. So what we're going to do is not set super high standards for ourselves here, given our situation, but we're going to try, your groups and teams are going to try to do something that mitigates in any way this COVID-19 thing in some way. And if you're sitting where you are thinking, how are we going to do that? Well, that's a problem that your group and team will be able to solve. So there's going to be 3 or 4 people in the groups. Remember to email me if there's anything I need to know before I ask Canvas to just, boom, magically put you in groups of 3 or 4. So do let me know if you have concerns. Don't put it in chat. Just email me there. So we're going to figure out something we can do that in some way helps, and even if it's a tiny little way, how people cope with this COVID-19. Here's what's in the syllabus. And the syllabus talks about the requirements for the project. We're not going to require any face-to-face. We're not going to put anybody in any danger of transmitting or receiving the virus in any way. It has to be a project that's manageable. We can do it this quarter and not stress ourselves out completely. It has to be a project that everybody can have a part in. So as we get started next week, in our next week meeting, we're going to start kind of brainstorming and thinking about possible ways to meet these here as we try to implement all the little complexities and little pieces of information about how to work in small groups in an actual small group or team. So that's the small group project. What the small group project does is it actually implements all 3 purposes of a small group: to discuss, to make decisions, and to do a task. And that what you're seeing on the screen right there is a preview of something that's in the mini lecture. So don't hesitate to let me know if you have questions or concerns or uncertainties about that project. I'm happy to deal with it. All right. Let me pause for a moment and see if anybody wants to type anything into chat. Okay. What we're going to do now, Haley's asked, when will we know who's in our groups? I'm going to post them on Monday of this week. I'm going to give people a little bit of time to contact me, and then you'll be able to see them on Canvas under people. Thanks, Haley, for that question. Okay, we're going to practice how we use discussion in chat for a little bit more than 1 to 5 or yes, no, etc. All right, so gird your loins, here we go. What, in your experience, has been the most challenging part of working in small groups? I'm going to pop off the screen. I'm going to give you a moment to think about that. Write your response in the chat, and then come back with part 2. Let's take a minute or two to answer this question in chat. Okay, well, it looks like we have most people who have responded, and you can see that there are some themes that we see there. Thanks, Esther, talking about, you know, that whole idea about social loafing or people not doing their part, et cetera, et cetera. All right, so let's do part 2 here. So chat isn't super great for having sort of these discussions, but we'll try to make it work. So thanks, Rebecca, for mentioning communication, since this class is about communication in small groups. You're going to hear me in the mini lecture say more than once that what we're trying to do in this class is minimize the disadvantages of small groups and maximize the advantages. So hang in there. All right, here's part 2. Let's give it a shot. Part 2 is this. Pick one of the responses in chat, not your own response, and comment on it. So the format of this should be type the person's name to whom you're responding and then make your response. All right, let me give you some time to do this, since you probably want to troll through the comments and look at the comments. Again, type the person's name you're responding to and type your response to the comment. All right, go for it. I'll pop my face off the screen here. Rachel, don't be sorry about that. That was just an awesome, that was just an awesome Freudian slip. Paul, are you able to hear us or see the chat? Awesome. I missed your comment. Well done. All right, you guys, thanks for participating. And so you can see that it's a tiny bit awkward to use chat, but it's doable if we want to respond to each other and kind of have a more back and forth discussion. So thanks for participating there. So as I read your responses, I'm secretly delighted in the fact that you are mentioning the very things that we're going to be talking about in the next couple of weeks here with the advantages and disadvantages of small groups. And as we talk about certain particular concepts in small group communication that are going to be important, like the egocentric bias and social loafing and things like that. All right, so just a reminder that we're going to meet next week at 2 o'clock, every Wednesday at 2 o'clock. Our primary purpose is going to be to learn to use Teams and Canvas for meeting in your small groups there, and we'll be practicing with that. So That's what's happening. Hey, everyone, what questions do you have? What can I clarify in our brief, well, maybe it didn't seem so brief time together here today? Anything?
No.
Rachel, our exam, we only have one exam and it will be at the end of the quarter and it will be open book. I'll give you a study guide for that. Thanks for asking. Well, if you have any other questions that come to mind, again, don't hesitate to contact me. I want you guys to be safe and well and do self-care and implement some of that great advice that you gave as we all kind of work our way through these challenges. All right, I'm going to leave you with a random quote here. Esther, I'm sorry your computer gave up on you. Everything will be recorded, and so you can go and just scrub all the way to where you missed and listen to the rest of this stuff here. Sorry for that. All right, so I have this box right here. That's what it looks like. And there's random quotes in here, and I'm going to pull out one random quote. Here we go. Here's the random quote. How we spend our day, I can't read it, it's backwards. How we spend our days is, of course, how we spend our lives. Annie Dillard. Spend your days well, be safe, be sane, be smart. I'll talk to you next week. All right, thanks for coming, everybody. Bye-bye now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, thanks.